Welcome to Call Me Didi, everyone. I'm your host Diva.
And I'm your host Sanchi, and welcome to our final episode of season 2
And 2024.
Oh!
Why are we celebrating this?
Because it's a huge achievement.
It is. It really is.
I'm so excited for
We've
today.
done so many episodes. Yeah, like we're wrapping it up today.
Yeah.
We're reflecting on the year we've had with the podcast, maybe even individually. And yeah, even prepping for this podcast was so fun because we were like, fuck, we've done so much.
I know, and I was like, this is an amazing end to the year because we are reflecting on our podcast journey and how we did everything from scratch and what we need to change for next year, and it's going to be an interesting one.
Yes, I'm actually really excited. But before we begin, like always, let's get into the highlights, but not of the week. The highlights of the year.
Highlight of the year.
One highlight
One
each.
highlight of the year.
You go first.
Okay. It's not a podcast related highlight. It's my highlight. And my highlight is that I learned swimming this year. And that I actually swam in the ocean because of it. And I say this because I, from the longest time, knew that I would do something of my own. Like, I have tried to set up multiple businesses in the past. This year also I've launched a business, launched a podcast, which is all great, right? Like, it's a huge step to growth. Yeah. But like, learning swimming was so big thing, like such a big thing for me, because I was scared of the water for the longest time, and I've tried to learn swimming for so many years. Like, I've tried to go to classes but stopped, and like, this has been on my list for a very long time, but this is the year I've actually done it.
Yeah.
So this is something that has been one of the biggest things of my life.
I love that. Like, I was not expecting this. Yeah. I was expecting you'll say you launched a business because that's also huge.
I agree. Yeah.
I see your point. Like, swimming is like a life skill.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a life skill. And the fact that I overcame my fear of like learning how to swim or just water in general, and I did it just because I wanted to experience that amazing beautiful feeling of swimming in the ocean, which I did this year like multiple times. Oh my god, like, the best.
I love that. That's really nice.
Yes. What's your highlight?
My highlight is starting this podcast. And sure, again, similar to you, like, starting a podcast, starting a side hustle, starting businesses is really cool. And that's not why this is a highlight. The reason it's a highlight is because starting this podcast has helped me grow as an individual in so many ways that it's not funny. Primarily, I feel like I've been able to overcome, not fully, but partially, the fear of judgment. Like, you know, because we're so vulnerable out here. We talk about what we struggled with, what our highlights have been. We really talk about our life.
Yeah.
And we've been vulnerable multiple times over the year. And it's really just helped me be like, okay, well, it's fine. Like, people can watch it and I am being vulnerable. And sure, it was really uncomfortable the first few times. But eventually, it's okay. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know? So, and it's really helped me. Not just even online, even in other aspects of life. Like, when somebody comes and talks to me and says, oh, like, yeah, I heard this about your podcast or whatever. Initially, it used to make me a bit uncomfortable because I was like, why does this person know so much about my life? It still does. But I'm like, yeah. I hope you learn something from it. Like, that's my approach now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you because I remember like the first reel that we made about the podcast and we put it out that we are going to launch a podcast. I cannot tell you how much this woman was scared to put it out there. And she was like, oh my god, Sanchi, no.
I was very uncomfortable.
Oh my god.
Extremely.
Yeah.
But from there, we've put such nonsense reels out now.
I am not kidding. I'm so proud of you that you have overcome this big thing.
It's a big thing, and it's a big thing for a lot of people. A lot of people fear judgment of others, what they will say, what they will think. And I'm not saying it's gone away fully for me, but it's gone away in huge parts. Like, it's I would recommend highly everyone else start a podcast or everyone else start putting yourself more on social media because eventually you realize everybody will have an opinion. Even now they will have an opinion. Even if you don't, they will have an opinion. You might as well just do your thing.
That's right. That's right, my friends.
Yeah.
So, let's start our reflection of the podcast.
Yes. I think that we've done so many cool things with the podcast in terms of the episodes we recorded. Like we've talked about self-love, we've talked about manifestation, we've talked about productivity and time management. We've talked about menstrual cycles.
Oh my god, that one was like a really, really good episode. I have learned so much from that one episode about like just improving my life and how I can actually work in sync with it. Oh my god, that was one of the favorite episodes. For sure. Same.
But we've talked about so many cool things. So it's been really like, it's been a growth journey as well, right? For ourselves, because we've learned something in every episode. And it's been cool because she tells me something that I didn't know. And I'm like, oh shit, like I'm learning as I go as well. It's really cool.
Yeah, because we have researched so much about the episodes before we record them, especially like when they're very, very educational. So like it has been so interesting to like research about it and then talk about it, and then because we talk about it in public, like we have to implement it in our own lives. And then oh my god, it has been a great journey. But it's so cool that we started from like goal setting at the start of the year and building your habits and immigrant life, study abroad. Oh my god.
We've talked about, but really quickly, let's just quickly touch on initial episode, the goal setting one, where we talked about the themes of the year. So your theme was self-love.
Yes.
How do you think you fared on your self-love theme?
Oh my god, I have grown in this trajectory when it comes to self-love. It has changed my life because I started a business on self-love. Not just using it in my own life, but like creating a whole new thing about that and like helping people with it. Oh my god, self-love has been so good this year, and I'm so grateful that I put myself first.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for the next chapter for next year now.
I'm very happy for you.
Your theme was discipline.
It was. And I too have had, like, I have been disciplined for majority of the year at least.
I can attest to that.
Like, I have found ways to be disciplined, and every time I'm falling off, I'm like, okay, wait, hold up. Let me get back to it. Let me find new ways. So like, for example, tracking my calories. I was thinking today, this is like my 4th month tracking calories every single day of my life.
She has
like
an Excel sheet.
I do. And like even working out and incorporating that into my life, and it's just been insane. And the growth has come in the muscles on my body. I have visible, well, I would say visible to the naked eye, but visible to me. Like I feel the muscles on my arms and on my legs and my booty. Like it's so good. And that has been the most rewarding thing ever. And that was probably like the focus of my year. Even at the beginning, I wanted to focus on myself and becoming the better or best version of myself. And I'm so proud of myself because I followed through on that this year.
I agree. She showed me a picture of the start of the year, and then a few days ago, I think you showed me another picture, and I was like, damn! Like, because I live with her and I see her every day, like, I can't process it like when I'm just looking at you, but when you actually showed me the difference, I was like, damn, I'm so proud of you.
It's really cool. But highly recommend for next year, anybody who's listening, to set a theme for the year and like follow through on it. Anyway, I'm sure we'll talk more about it next year as well, but yeah.
And also like get a buddy like we did, because we kept each other in check.
Yeah, even if like not even necessarily like let's sit down and see what we've done. It's just very like, hey, you should do this, or you should do this, or how are things going, or you can like talk to the others. You like, I did this.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Alright, let's talk about the episode today. So today we're going to break it down into three things, right?
Yeah.
We're reflecting on the year with what went well, what didn't go well, and what's changing or what you can expect next year.
Okay, so let's start with what went well. Like, what were the highlights of starting a podcast this year? You go.
I think that the first highlight and the biggest highlight for me and for you, I want to go into the big one first, is the events that we hosted.
Okay.
At least for me, that's a huge one because
Yeah.
like the events we hosted helped so many people make so many meaningful connections, including ourselves. We've made friends from it. Other people have made friends from it. And like we did that event with a purpose and with a pure heart. Like I can say for us, it was out of genuine, let's do this. I think it'd be really cool to do. There was no commercial ideas behind it or thoughts that we want to make money of it. It was like, I think we need this, and we did it. And it's crazy when you have an idea and you just do it and it comes to life in such a beautiful way. I'm so proud of us that we did that.
I agree.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones for me was like just having a huge impact on so many people who listen to our episodes, because it's so crazy how many people come to like messaging me or us on the podcast and say like we have listened to your episodes and it has genuinely helped us. And we put out an episode on how to start a podcast a few weeks ago, and then someone has messaged that they are starting a podcast because they listened to our episode. And just it's so nice and beautiful to see that we started something because we thought that someone could feel like they could get the help from us, and like we've done it, and it is actually helping people grow. It's crazy.
It's actually insane. And like even just meeting a lot of people through the podcast, we've met heaps of cool people, not just from the events and stuff, just people who've reached out to us, who want to like chat with us, and we're like, yeah, we're open for a call. And like people who've done amazing, incredible things in their life. We had reached out for a photo shoot and we were like, sure thing, like we'd love to be part of a photo shoot. Like just things like that. Or like, you know, speaking to Sarah from Humans of Australia who wanted to cover our story, and we've built a really good relationship with them.
Yeah.
It's really cool
Yeah.
to have those connections as well that we've been able to build.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the final one for me would be that just learning so much in this journey of building an online as well as in-person community. Like it's crazy how much we have learned through just researching about the podcast and like putting it out there and just talking about it, implementing in our own life, and just
I agree.
overall growth.
And along with that, the consistency and discipline we've been able to achieve in that, right? Even that's growth. Like we've showed up every single time we say we're showing up, and we've not missed one episode.
Yes.
And I'm really proud of us. And that was like, even if we're in different countries.
Yes.
We've made sure they want the best quality, like how they looked. It didn't mean we're not going to put it out. We've put it out, and we've been vulnerable. Even in that, we're like, hey, we know it's not our best work, but we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's been about consistency and progress over perfection.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
So proud of us for that.
Really happy.
Yes.
But let's also talk about what didn't go well this year.
Do you want to touch on the first one? I put it on you all the time.
Sure thing. So I think that we've obviously seen a lot of growth come on our Instagram, and that's grown like heaps, and lots of people connect with us even there. It's really cool. But our podcast itself has been a little bit slow in its growth. It's been growing, not to say, but we've obviously put in a lot of work into it. So I think that we would ideally have liked for it to grow a little bit more. It's still cool that we've helped so many people though.
I agree. I think something that I've realized is that we put in a lot of time and energy into doing episodes, but we are still like figuring out how to make money out of it. Because like we sit down every week, we strategize, we record, we used to edit, now we have an editor, but it's just so much time taking, and it's not just one person time, it's two people time. And we have not been able to get monetary value out of it as of now, as much as we would like. And to make it sustainable, like you have to have money. So it's just, we are just on a journey to figure out how we can monetize it and make it sustainable for long term.
Yeah. I think that we anyway struggle so much, and that's probably one of the reasons. Is like we both work full-time jobs. We both, try and live life out, like, as in we both have our own interests. She obviously has a second business that she runs. I try and do other things in life as well. We try to manage our social life as well. Like there's a lot on for us. and we try to manage this podcast within that, and we have been able to, but we've not been able to give it that much time, as much time as it probably needs to be able to monetize it as well. So I think we're gonna have to figure out next year how to balance that, or maybe reduce time from other parts of our life, or
Yeah, it's basically just having a clear set strategy and goals of how we want to like monetize it and grow it further next year.
Agree. And also probably be a bit more data driven as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh my God. This is something that we have realized, even like acknowledging that we are a new podcast, so it's really hard to look at data when you don't have data. So you have to kind of look at what you think will work. But like as we have done so many episodes, I think we're just less inclined into looking into data and making decisions according to that, and we just usually make decisions based on what we think. But something that we need to improve on is for sure be more data driven.
Be a bit more data driven. But maybe now let's talk about what's changing and what you can expect in the next year. Now we're gonna get into what we're gonna say, but if there's something that you want to hear from us, please tell us in the comments or DM us. We'd love to know. So what's changing, Sanchi?
The first one for me is that we are gonna have guests on. I'm so excited for that one because we have done season 1 audio, season 2 video, how-to series, and the season 3 would be with inviting guests. So it will ideally be a group podcast. We'll either have like 1 or 2 people on a podcast along with us, and we're gonna have discussions around topics that are going to be relatable to people in their 20s and all the struggles. You might see some really cool immigrants who have done some really cool things as well. You might see some people who are like us, who are also struggling and trying to do something of their own on the side and like on the journey to build something for themselves. So it's going to be really different perspectives you might be able to listen to.
Yes. And I think we're also going to have longer episodes. So we started off with long episodes at the start of the year, and then we made it shorter episodes because we just thought that that's what people want. But we've gotten a lot of feedback from people that they actually like long episodes and they like to hear us talk, which is interesting. But so we're going to go back to longer episodes. We're probably going to be testing a few different times, and also based on the conversations we have, we want to keep it organic. So if the conversation is flowing with the guests we have, then we're going to let it flow. But I think that's going to change as well. And I think that we'll still have episodes that'll be just us as well here and there. Like it's not going to be only guests always, because I know you guys love us.
You sure do.
But yeah.
So in our season 1, when we had longer episodes, we were doing fortnightly episodes, and then we moved into weekly, which is why we decided on doing smaller episodes. But through that process, we realized how draining it got, and how like just we had a great time recording the episode, but as it got too much, we like stopped enjoying recording them as much. So we were like, okay, this is something that brings us joy. We don't want to make it a burden on us. So we are going to go back to fortnightly episodes
and focus on having interesting conversations that bring value to you and bring a lot of fun as well. Like I want to have a lot of fun through this podcast. I want you guys to have fun as well. So I think we just want to create more value, reduce the amount of episodes we release, but make it really, really impactful.
So we are going to go back to fortnightly episodes.
Yes, but something that I'm really excited about is that I think we're going to be doing a fair bit of traveling next year as well. We want to go to different cities. We want to host events in different cities. We want to connect with people and interview people in different cities. Oh my God, what if we do like a tour? Like we do like a podcast.
Oh my God. It'll be Let's Make Friends, Call Me Didi podcast tour. Mind blown away.
Insane. But like I think that we're going to do that. I'm confident we're going to do it.
Of course. Like we started this podcast 6 months ago, and we've already done 2 in-person events with like sellout events. So we can definitely branch out to other cities because it's a need.
A lot of people from different cities have also messaged us and said, why don't you come to Melbourne? Why don't you come to Brisbane? So I think we want to try and start with places where this is more of a need. And also obviously meet all the cool people in the city and talk to them and make them our guests. Which is also very exciting.
I'm super excited about this one. But I think in terms of events, we are looking to branch out in other type of events other than making new friends as well. We were thinking of starting events for like professional development or like activity based events, like going for a hike, doing runs together, taking ocean dips together, stuff like that. That is just really cool to share with people who are like minded, and it's just having those wholesome people and conversations and just connection, I think, is what we are looking forward to.
Absolutely. I'm very excited by that. And I think lastly, in order to do all of this, we're going to need some money, because at the end of the day, everything costs money.
And time.
And time is also money. So we want to make sure that it's sustainable for us to do that. So we want to partner with some really cool businesses who are able to sponsor some of our podcast episodes as well as our Instagram, so that we can continue producing this content for you and bringing you these really, really cool episodes. So if you have a business or know somebody who you think would be a really good fit for us, then please send them our way. We would love to connect. And and keep doing more of this, because this brings us a lot of joy.
I agree. I'm so grateful that we started something that was just an idea in our head. We actually put in work and effort into making it a reality and grown it. And we are so excited for what 2025 brings for Call Me Didi.
It's so interesting because I remember when we first started this podcast and the Instagram for it, I remember like it was just this feeling, when you start something new and the people in your life, there's some people who are really excited for you, and then some people are like, oh, like I see Sarah podcasts, and they almost like, I don't want to say belittle you, but they just think it's just another thing somebody started, and here they are trying to be influencers. Like, that's the vibe you get, and I got a lot of it, but you just have to look past it. You just have to be like, nah, screw them and their opinion. I don't care for it. And once you do and you just continue working on it, you see the growth come, which we've seen. So I think it's cool, and I think it's just a reminder for me, for us, for anybody listening, that the idea is to put in the work. The outcome will happen on its own, and it'll come in its own time. You can't control the outcome. All you can control is the action behind it, and as long as you're doing that consistently
With strategy.
That's what I think we can pride ourselves on. And I just think that like the outcome will happen in its due time, and maybe it won't happen. It's fine. It's fine. You always learn something from the process, and you can take pride in the fact that you did it.
I know.
You put the work behind it.
Yes, you're so right.
Yeah.
I love it. Before we wrap up this episode, I want to ask you, what was your favorite episode that we recorded this year? And what was your biggest highlight from the podcast?
My favorite episode was probably the one, I don't know if it's your favorite episode too, but it's probably the menstrual cycle
Oh my
one.
god, it's mine too!
Mostly because it's changed, I think, both of our lives hugely.
Hugely.
It's insane how accurate it is. Your menstrual cycle has a huge impact on your life, on your mood, on how hungry you get, on the energy levels, and if you optimize for it, then you're going to be more productive.
Yes, that's so right. Like, I remember we went out for a drive, and these guys were like, how are you up at 4 a.m. in the morning? You sleep at 9 p.m. I was like, I'm in my follicular phase, guys. And then we laughed.
Because it's true. Like, in fact, I think this is TMI, but our cycles are sort of synced now. So the energy in the house during our luteal phase versus the follicular phase is like, it's so massively different, and you just know it's because we're in the phase and we can't help it.
I agree.
The energy doesn't change knowing that, but just knowing that makes a difference, because we're like, okay, like, well, this will pass, things will change.
It's okay.
There'll be brighter days.
Anyway.
And I also have to say my personal highlight, right? Is it?
No, highlight for the podcast.
My highlight for the podcast. Okay, my highlight for the podcast was it's every time someone tells me that they have made new connections after our events. Like, or like or the podcast has had an impact with them, but so many people have told me Like, we've made friends. It was a really cool event. I didn't have any friends before, and I made new connections. And then you see them hang out, and you are like,
My heart, you have my heart.
it's such a good feeling. It genuinely is such a good feeling. What was yours?
See, now that you know that my episode was also menstrual cycle, so I don't want to say that again.
Okay, you're gonna change it?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to change it.
Okay. What was your second favorite episode then?
Self-love. How to build self-love.
That was a really cool one.
That was a really good episode. And the highlight, why everything we have is same? Like, I've literally written down here, first event reel going viral, because that made us realize how much people need connection and how much there's a need for just making new friends.
It's insane though, that reel went viral, and then other people have started businesses because that reel went viral. And it's kind of crazy because other people have started events-based businesses because they've realized there is a genuine need for connection. And even we've learned, we knew that. That's why we put the reel out. That's why we made the effort. But I guess it's helped people facilitate connections in different cities as well, which I'm happy about, you know, like it's made an impact.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I think with that, we are going to wrap up our final episode of 2024, and we are going to take a break in which we are going to strategize for next year, bring some really cool things that we announced, and we are going to see you in our season 3, probably coming out in February 2025.
Yes, I'm very excited about this. I'm also very excited about the break. Hey, should we talk about what we're doing in the break? Really quickly. Well, I'm traveling to India to see my family.
I'm also traveling to India to see Coldplay.
I'm going to Bali as well.
Oh my god. I might go somewhere as well. I might sneak it in.
But I think we both need a bit of a break as well.
Yeah.
Just from life. Just go home, see
Just
family.
from life. You need a break from life.
Life meaning all this hustle, man. Like, it's
I
been
get it.
back to back to back to back. Like, the whole year. And I think the summer, December, Jan is the time to just rewind.
Chill.
It's New Year's. It's Christmas. It's my birthday season. Like, it's a good time.
Someone is turning 27.
Fuck, why do you have to put it out of the world like that? Yes, no, but honestly, aging is a privilege.
Okay, sure.
That's what you gotta tell yourself at least.
Anyway, we'll see you in our next season. And if you like this episode, please tell us in the comments what you'd like to see more of in our next season, because we'd love to incorporate that feedback into our next season.
I'm actually gonna miss doing this. A little bit.
We're still going to be doing it. We're going to be recording episodes with other guests. We're just not going to be putting it out.
Yes. Well, we'll see you in the new year. Please stay in touch. Comment. Tell us what you think we should get. We're still going to be posting stuff on Instagram, so connect with us over there as well. And
share it with someone who you think will benefit from it.
Yes.
Our reflection, you'll learn from reflection how to reflect.
Yes. We'll see you the next year.
Bye.